Good afternoon, I'm Riza Diaz. This is One News Now. The Health Department has implemented stricter lockdowns in 2 barangays in Bontoc where 12 of the new B117 variant cases were detected. To give us more details on government's efforts to contain the spread of the UK variant, we have with us Faith Del Mundo. She's reporting from Quezon City. Faith, what do you have for us?
Yes, Riza, the health department is tapping more contact tracers for its intensified reports to reach up the third generation contacts of the new UK variants. Patients, this after the 16 new cases of the B117 strain are reported here in the country. In today's Laging Handa press briefing, DOH Undersecretary Maria Rosario Berjeres said the agency is still studying the sequencing results of the samples from the new batch of B117 patients. The agency said 3 of the 16 patients have recovered, but they will continue to be monitored. The Bontoc town in Mountain Province, where 12 of the new variant patients were reported, said they have already been in lockdown for 2 weeks. DOH recommends to add additional 2 weeks of lockdown to prevent the further spread of the virus. The department also vows to make its contact tracing more extensive. Last night, DOH received the manifesto of the flight from Lebanon to identify its passengers and begin contact tracing. The agency has also mobilized regional offices to help in contact tracing efforts. This includes the regions of 1, 2, and 3, and the Cordillera Administrative Region. DOH said these regional offices will have 50 more contact tracers. The agency is also seeking the help of DOJ to trace 2 passengers from the flight from UAE. One of the patients from Dubai has negative results, but was found to have pneumonia. He will undergo X-ray investigations for health authorities to see if he has fully recovered. Berjere also emphasized that testing a patient 5 days after exposure to the virus will yield more accurate results. Saliva testing will also be utilized soon, but as of the moment, these are only available in Red Cross facilities. DOH is still fixing other requirements to make it available to other centers. Riza, DILG, PNP, and contact tracing SAR Benjamin Magalong are helping DOH in tracing the passengers of the flight from Lebanon. If they will not find the passengers over the weekend, they will submit the names to the NBI. Riza?
Thank you for that report. That was Faith Del Mundo reporting from Quezon City. Now, 2 cases of the UK COVID-19 variant in the country were possibly transmitted locally, but experts say there's no sufficient evidence yet. As reported by the Health Department, these cases are from Benguet and Laguna. They have no known contact to any COVID-19 patient and no travel history outside the country. Meanwhile, 12 of the 16 cases were detected from Bontoc Mountain Province. Their exposure and travel records are still unknown as investigation and contact tracing continue. Now, the remaining 2 cases are Filipinos who returned to the country from Lebanon last December 29. 4 UK variant patients, including the patient 0, have already recovered from the disease. And we'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. still watching One News Now, I'm Riza Diaz. The COVID-19 reproduction number in the Philippines has decreased slightly according to the Octa Research Group. Latest data show that the reproduction number of the virus in the country is now at 1.13 and 1.8 in the National Capital Region. The group notes, however, that the figure is still greater than the ideal value of 1 as cases continue to increase after surges in some areas. Mountain Province and Benguet registered positivity rates of 20%, the highest in the country. Now, to explain what these numbers entail, joining us this afternoon, we have Father Nicanor Austriaco of the Octa Research Group. Good afternoon, Father Nick.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me on your show.
Father, thank you for your time. Now, aside, Father, from the daily number of cases, we're looking now at two more figures pertaining to COVID-19. These are reproduction number and positivity rate. What does this figure represent?
So a reproduction number, also called the R, indicates the average number of people that a single COVID patient could possibly infect. So if you have an R above 1, that means one patient is infecting more than one other patient. And what this means is that the pandemic is growing. If the R is less than 1, then one patient cannot infect another patient completely, so the pandemic is shrinking. So right now in the Philippines and in the NCR, the R is greater than 1, which suggests that the pandemic is increasing. Now, the positivity rate is the percentage of COVID tests that return positive. And the World Health Organization recommends a positivity rate of below 10, ideally below 5%. And as you can see in Benguet, where the positivity rate is 20%, what this means is they're not testing enough, which suggests that the number of cases that are being captured is actually only a fraction of what is really out there. And these are the signs of a surge. So increasing R, increasing positivity rate, increasing daily cases, these are the three hallmarks of a surge that we are probably seeing in the northern part of the Philippines at this time.
Thank you for those clarifications. Now, Father, according to the latest data, the reproduction number in the Philippines has decreased. That's despite an increase in the new COVID-19 cases. So what can we expect in the coming days given this development?
So what's important actually is not that the R rate has decreased slightly, but that the R rate is still above 1 and has been above 1 for some time now, which suggests that over time, especially with the concerns of the B.1.1.7 UK variant, the pandemic is going to spread.
Father, we've seen, of course, this UK variant being detected in Mountain Province. Do you have any insight as to how likely this variant is already spreading in the country?
So all we have right now is the report of the DOH from late last night. And what is particularly troubling are the two cases you mentioned earlier in your program, the one case in Benguet and the one case in Laguna, that are currently unexplained. So these individuals who are positive got the B.1.1.7 UK variant from somewhere, and we do not know where that somewhere is. This means that the virus is actually in Laguna, it's in Benguet, which probably explains, especially in the northern provinces, why we are getting unprecedented surges and spikes in Benguet, in Cagayan, in many of the provinces in the north.
That's why they were saying that perhaps it was transmitted locally. Now, Father, aside from the Mountain Province, there are other provinces that are experiencing surge in infections. Can you tell us more about this?
So, in our report, we highlight a couple of the other places that are manifesting increases, like, for example, the Zamboanga Peninsula and Leyte. But we are most concerned right now with the spikes in the northern part of Luzon, probably because they are best explained at this time by the UK variant. So in other countries where the UK variant has been able to grow in the soil of that country, they have experienced dramatic and explosive growth. And we are concerned that the growth that you are seeing in the pandemic in certain very hot spots in the northern part of Luzon are actually evidence of the B117 variant in the local population.
And finally, Father, with vaccines that are expected to come into the country by next month, how can this affect the rate of transmission of the virus?
So as the percentage of people are vaccinated, it becomes harder for the virus to spread. So as we vaccinate more Filipinos, the R value is going to drop. But this will take significant numbers of vaccination, which probably will not occur till the third or fourth quarter of 2021. So we have, for the next few months, we have to heighten our biosurveillance. We have to heighten our ability to control and contain the spread of the pandemic, especially of the UK variant, because as of this morning, the UK actually reported that there is a possibility that not only is it more transmissible, it is actually tragically also more lethal. It actually kills more people. So we do not want that variant to explode here in the Philippines, because that would lead not only to more cases, but tragically it would also lead to more deaths.
Thank you for your insight and for your time, Father Nicanor Austriaco from the Octa Research Group. Now, here are other stories we're watching across the globe. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson says early evidence suggests that the new COVID-19 variant could also be more deadly. That's on top of earlier reports that the B117 strain is more contagious than the strain that originated in Wuhan, China. UK's chief government scientist, Patrick Wallace, said that the new variant could be 30 to 40% more deadly for some age group. VALLANCE stressed, however, that this assessment relied on sparse data. Now, Hong Kong will place tens of thousands of its residents under a lockdown to contain the new outbreak of COVID-19. This is the first measure the territory has carried out since the pandemic began. The lockdown is expected to begin this weekend and involve 150 residential buildings in the core urban district of Kowloon. And U.S. President Joe Biden has moved swiftly to coordinate a federal effort to fight COVID-19 on his first day in office. Biden signed executive orders that will establish a COVID-19 testing board to ramp up testing and address supply shortfalls. He also seeks to establish protocols for international travelers and direct resources to hard-hit minority communities.
The death toll will likely top 500,000 next month. The cases will continue to mount. We didn't get into this mess overnight, and it's going to take months for us to turn things around. But let me be equally clear. We will get through this. We will defeat this pandemic. And to a nation waiting for action, let me be the clearest on this point. Help is on the way.
Now, for more updates, visit News 5, The Philippine Star, and Business World Online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.